Professor Andrew, first of all, we'd like to welcome you to KSA2.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can you please kindly introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sure. My name is Andrew Wiley. I work at the College Board in New York City in the United States.
Professor Andrew, could you tell us and elaborate on your participation here at the forum?
Well, the College Board does a lot of research in the United States on criteria for admissions testing. We sponsor the SAT, so we spend a lot of time focused on how do you define college success, how do you define successful behavior for students, and my paper will talk about different ways to define college success and how that will influence the criteria that you use in admissions testing.
Are you for or against having a common set of criteria for all universities in one country, or do you think that each university should have their own set of criteria?
I think the danger with having each university create their own tests, set their own standard, is that you'll have a lot of variability and you won't have the consistency there. So I'm strongly in favor of a consistent standard or a standardized admissions test. Okay.
Professor Ihsan, first of all, we'd like to welcome you to KSA2.
Okay, thank you very much.
Could you kindly explain yourself to our viewers and from which institute you represent?
Okay, I'm from China. I'm doing my my PhD and postdoctorate from China right now. And for this conference, I mean, first of all, it's really a good opportunity to be here in Saudi Arabia and to discuss my ideas and my views with different colleagues here. My main contribution for this conference would be like I'd be presenting something on identification and mapping of generic and special skills if we want to go for admission tests specifically. So we want to get more about from admission tests regarding the generic skills and everything, how we can evaluate and assess these kind of skills at admission test level for a specific subject. I mean, that would be a kind of contribution for me for this conference.
First of all, we'd like to welcome you to KSA2.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Could you introduce yourself to our viewers, please?
Yes. I'm Dr. Mary Petoniak from Educational Testing Service in the United States. I am a psychometrician.
Could you tell us and elaborate on your participation here in the forum in Saudi?
Yes, I will be giving a presentation on setting cut scores for tests in higher education.
And what does that involve exactly, if you can elaborate on some of the major points?
Well, cut scores are when you want to take the scores on a test and divide the students into different categories. So for example, you might have pass and fail on a test, and you need to determine what score must a student get to pass the test. So there are procedures that we use for that, and I'm an expert on that and will be speaking on that topic.
First of all, we'd like to welcome you to Saudi Arabia and for being with us on KSA2.
Thank you. It's a great place. I'm loving it.
Could you possibly introduce yourself, please?
Yep, my name's Richard Roberts. I'm a Managing Principal Research Scientist at the Educational Testing Service in Princeton, New Jersey.
Could you elaborate on your participation in the forum and the subject that you will be discussing?
Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about new directions in testing. Traditionally, it's done using cognitive tests. There's something called non-cognitive tests, which is like personality measures and measures of attitudes, and these are thought to predict things like whether you stay on at schools very well.
What are some of the recent researches that you've been participating in, and how has those findings helped to advance research in general or specifically in assessments?
I do a lot of research on affect, which is like emotions, so I study emotional intelligence, and one of the things that this is helping us to understand is how people manage their emotions and manage their character, if you will. So it's a kind of really exciting area.